Why do we need to recite little houses? There are two kinds of illnesses from a Buddhist point of view. One is caused by a person's physical body, for instance, cold, flu, sprain, physical injury, etc. When seeking medical treatment may help. Conversely, it is harder to medically treat illnesses due to foreign spirits. Some examples include cancer, tumors, mental disorders, depression, autism, etc. If an illness is caused by a foreign spirit, successful treatment through modern medicine is only possible when the spirit has ascended to a higher spiritual realm. Many illnesses and misfortunes in life can be attributed to karmic debts from our past lives, giving rise to retribution in our present life. This is when karmic creditors will demand the repayment of karmic debts, causing ill health, career impediments, disharmony in our families, poor academic results, bad temper, accidents, etc. These problems can be resolved by offering little houses to help spirits ascend to a higher spiritual realm. The little house is a Dharma gem bestowed by Guan Yin Bodhisattva for us to help foreign spirits ascend to a higher spiritual realm, resolve karmic conflicts, and eliminate karmic obstacles. It can also help us to dispel calamities as well as transform our destiny and repay karmic debts from our previous lives in this human realm. With that, we are able to break free from the 6 realms of rebirth and ascend to the Western Pure Land of ultimate bliss and the 4 sagely realm. For more information, please refer to the book, A Guide to Reciting the Combination of Buddhist Scriptures, Little Houses, and Master Lu's latest radio program. Will recitation of little houses attract foreign spirits? Since the little house is so valuable, will my recitation attract foreign spirits to demand it? Karmic creditors come to us for a reason, be it related to karmic affinity or karmic debt. Just like the human world, there are laws and rules in the spirit world. It is also true in the underworld where the laws are strict. As such, it is only right and proper to pay what is due. If we do not repay our karmic debts by reciting little houses, the repayment will still need to be made through other means when the time of retribution comes. Hence, we must begin recitation to repay karmic debts before anything happens, instead of professing devotion only when in trouble. This is because in the latter scenario, we will be in a state of distress, and repaying karmic debts will not be easy then, because the karmic obstacles have already been activated. It is advisable to repay our karmic debts as early as possible so that we can quash any major issues and quell minor ones. For more information, please refer to the book, A Guide to Reciting the Combination of Buddhist Scriptures, Little Houses, and Master Lu's latest radio program. Can I perform daily recitation only, but not little house? Daily recitation is comparable to your daily expenditures, while the little house is like your loan repayments. In the case where there is no karmic debt, it is fine to perform only daily recitation if a person has neither karmic obstacles nor foreign spirit occupying his body. On the contrary, in case there are karmic obstacles and foreign spirits, it is better to recite the little house. Daily recitation is essential. However, it is not sufficient to ensure a well and peaceful life when one's fortune and blessing are depleted during one's bad time. You can imagine if what you spend totaled up to your entire income. Should something unfortunate happen when more money is needed, you will not be able to sustain. For more information, please refer to the book, A Guide to Reciting the Combination of Buddhist Scriptures, Little Houses, and Master Lu's latest radio program. When can you start to recite little houses? You may recite little houses as soon as you start performing your daily recitation. If you persistently perform your daily recitation, you may recite a portion of the Great Compassion mantra of your daily recitation prior to reciting the little houses. Please note that the number of recitations that you perform for daily recitation should not be counted in for little houses. For more information, please refer to the book, A Guide to Reciting the Combination of Buddhist Scriptures, Little Houses, and Master Lu's latest radio program. Under what circumstances should we recite the little houses, and what is the quantity required? The quantity mentioned below is for reference only. You may adjust according to your own circumstances. For beginners, it is recommended that you start with at least 7 little houses addressed to your own karmic creditors. Proceed with subsequent recitations according to your circumstances. In the event that you dreamt of karmic creditors, for example, a deceased, you may recite at least 7 little houses. Generally, it is recommended that you offer 21 little houses instead of 7 if the deceased is a relative. If the full name of the deceased is unknown, you may specify the relationship between the deceased and you. For example, grandfather of your name. If you had an abortion, miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, fertility treatments, or taken contraceptive pills or other birth control measures which may result in unknown miscarriages, you may want to recite at least 7 to 21 little houses for each child. You can address them to child of your name. As long as you have dreams of babies or children, it is recommended that you recite the little houses as mentioned above. In the event that you have karmic creditors in the house, for example, you feel that your house is gloomy and depressing, or you have dreamt of strangers in the house, or hear strange noises or experience sudden and unexplainable breakdowns of electronic devices and furniture, it is recommended that you recite 4 to 7 little houses addressed to the karmic creditor of the house of your full name. If you have karmic conflicts or disputes with others, you may recite little houses addressed to your full name to resolve karmic conflicts. If you are reserving little houses for future use, leave the offer to fill blank. You may fill it in right before you burn the little houses. If life is smooth sailing, proceed with your daily recitation. It is recommended that you offer about 3 little houses each week to keep you safe and well. The little houses is to be addressed to the karmic creditor of your full name. If you feel unwell, such as suffering from headache, fever, serious illness, or hit by sudden calamity, or having relationship problem, it is recommended that you start to recite the little house. The effect of offering the little house and the quantity required generally depends on the person's spiritual energy, karmic obstacles, one's sincerity in recitation, and the grievance between the karmic creditor and the debtor. As each person's condition and situation might differ, thus the efficacy and the requirement of the little house cannot be generalized. That said, what's most important is for one to persist in performing this recitation. For more information, please refer to the book, A Guide to Reciting the Combination of Buddhist Scriptures, Little Houses, and Master Lu's latest radio program. If in your dreams there are scenes about karmic creditors with accompanying numbers, the numbers could be related to the number of little houses you may need to recite. There are no hard and fast rules in interpreting these dreams. The circumstances depicted in a dream, as well as one's actual circumstances, need to be considered as a whole. For example, for someone who is suffering from a severe illness, his dreams about $500 could probably mean 500 little houses are required. However, if a healthy person were to dream about $500, it might only mean 50 little houses. If you frequently find it difficult to determine the number of little houses required, you may make a vow to recite a certain number of little houses, focusing on a specific issues or aspects, until you resolve the said issue. Generally, you may vow 7 or 21 little houses per batch. If you feel that this issue is more serious, you may make a vow for 49, 69, or even 108 little houses per batch. As you begin to recite the little houses in each batch, you may first make a vow to Guan Yin Bodhisattva, stating the number of little houses you will recite and the time frame in which you will complete them by. For example, I, your full name, will recite X number of little houses for my karmic creditor in Y period of time, or by a certain date. May the greatly merciful and greatly compassionate Guan Yin Bodhisattva protect and bless me, your full name, help me to recover from the type of illness you are suffering from, or you may make other wishes. It is best that one persists in reciting the little houses, as it is not a one-off matter. After offering the required number of little houses, it may only be sufficient to help our karmic creditor to ascend to a higher spiritual realm. This does not mean that there will be no more karmic creditors in the future. Karmic obstacles can be activated at any point in time and transform into karmic creditor. Thus, it is recommended that you persist in reciting little houses. For more information, please refer to the book, A Guide to Reciting the Combination of Buddhist Scriptures, Little Houses, and Master Lu's latest radio program.